Hey guys, Dr. Ben Galliard here, and I'm with my functional nutritionist Shauna, and we're going to be going over some exciting ways to get through the holidays with all the stress, all the strife, family, in-laws, all these things that are going on in our daily routines, and how can we get through that day? How can we get through that meal? The stress of work and parties and getting gifts and all these different things. So what I want to talk about today is how can we keep our blood sugar stabilized? How can we come up with some meals that are helpful? What do you do if you have to go to that party and you know there's going to be a lot of bad foods that you don't want to be eating? There's going to be things that's going to spike your blood sugar if you're off of certain foods. How are we going to get away from going down that path of being tempted? Because that's the biggest thing. I don't know about you, but for me, if there's a bowl of chips and some salsa or whatever, I want to grab a few, and I want to take a couple bites, and then it's a couple more, and all of a sudden, the next day I'm waking up puffy, my skin's not quite right, I can see it under my eyes, my fingers are a little stiff. Shauna, what are some of the tricks that you do when you're going to a party and making some of these different choices?
I think the first thing I always do is try to plan ahead. You know you have parties coming up. I will pre-make meals so that I have something to eat before I go to the party. So never go on an empty stomach because it's going to be harder to make good choices. Also, I bring a snack or something that I can eat. I typically bring a dessert that is a healthier dessert because that's usually where...
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's usually where I fall off the wagon.
Yes.
Is if they have cake and cookies, sweet treats. So
Even if it's gluten-free.
Even if it's gluten-free.
Yeah, and we fall into that rut of, hey, but that's a gluten-free cupcake or donut or whatever. And so I always ask patients, well, would you eat a donut if it wasn't gluten-free? And they're like, yeah, probably not, but it's gluten-free. So it's like free calories, but it's really not.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of food out there that's labeled gluten-free, but it's still not health food. So I'll bring, one of my favorites for the holiday season is a paleo peppermint bark made with cacao and coconut butter. So really good.
Oh, wow.
And then a peppermint extract and sweetened with a little stevia. So it's something that can kind of curb your sugar cravings, but not get you off track.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's, when we start thinking about blood sugar, that's one of the big things that we need to think about in this time of year. Even in our office here, someone just brought in a big bag of these milk chocolate truffle things. And
they look great.
They look great, and yet, you know what? We're not going to go there. We're going to keep our blood sugar throughout the day, and we know because we check our blood sugar, almost every one of our patients check their blood sugars, we know what's going to happen if we spike up that blood sugar by eating one of these foods. That's going to create more inflammation. If there's an autoimmune condition, it's going to drive that autoimmune reaction more so in the body. So we've got to be able to stabilize that blood sugar. Again, keep grains to a minimum. So even if you are at a party or if you're planning a big meal, try to go more of a grainless type of a Christmas dinner, anything like that. So paleo dishes, paleo websites. What are some of the good ones that you like? Anything that you pull recipes from?
Elena's Pantry is good.
Yeah, she's out of Boulder, Elena's Pantry. She does great stuff.
Yeah, luckily there are hundreds of websites. If you just Google paleo Christmas or paleo treats, there's a lot of options right now.
Wonderful. And unfortunately for a lot of people as well, this time of the year can definitely be stressful. What's the sun going down at 4:15 it seems like now, and we don't have much daylight out there. It can start getting cold. A lot of people have negative connotations about Christmas because they don't get to see certain family, or maybe certain people passed away at this time of the year, or they miss family members, all those things. So what can we do to keep in that positive state? And one of the things I like to do is that every morning write down what you're grateful for. And if you keep that positive tone, you keep that what I am grateful for, and it can be as simple as that my arm moves. You know, that's my thing I'm grateful for if you're having a real hard time with it. But we were talking about it today, and the depression and getting down and feeling low, a lot of times, yes, there's a biochemical, there's a neurological reason for that, but that is probably the emotion that has most to do with our posture, our body, our being. And if we're down and I'm depressed versus chest up, head in this good neutral position, it is really hard to be down and depressed when you are and like Tony Robbins says, you raise it 1 millimeter up, and that can be the difference between life is bad versus, you know what, I'm going to take on this day.
It's a good tip. Yeah. One thing I always recommend also is keeping up your self-care routine. During the holidays, we get busy. There's a lot of extra stuff to do, so we try to weed out what we normally do for self-care, like exercise, sleep. So those are non-negotiables during the holidays. Those are two things that you really need to keep up with and make priority.
Yeah, one of the patients we just saw today, she's recently pregnant and she needs to be resting. And yet this last week she had a big party to put on, and she was up last night like cleaning the floors and all these things. It's like, you know what? Sometimes you got to let some of those things go so that you can keep that good sleep routine. You can keep that good eating routine. So get this: every time you eat sugar, so sugar, whether it's natural or in a natural as an organic or in a corn syrup, whatever it is, it's going to decrease natural killer cells for at least 4 hours. So those are our good immune system cells. So you go eat those milk chocolate truffles like we have in the other room, and then you go turn the doorknob and somebody just sneezed on it, and you get those germs on you, you're going to be a lot less likely to fight it off. And same thing with sleep. If you get a bad night's sleep, boom, that's going to knock down that immune system. So can we keep our immune system strong? Yes. Keep that blood sugar stabilized, keep those sweets down, and get that good quality sleep. So this season, it can be a beautiful time, it can be an amazing time, but it can also be a stressful time. So keep it balanced, keep your food where you need to be, keep your routines like you need it to be, keep your exercise where you're going, all those things, and you're going to be able to create that jump start to where January is not this, oh my gosh, I've gained 10 pounds and I need to go on this diet, but hey, I'm ready to just take everything I've been doing and move to that next level. So we'd love to hear from you. Like or share these videos, and we love getting the word out. If you have any questions or any comments, go ahead and leave them in the screen down below, and we'll get back with you on any of those things. So have great holidays, and keep up the good work, everybody, and we'll talk soon.
Happy holidays.